Catherine, and the first thing I'd like to say in this video is I am very sorry for not having posted in a really long time. I know it's been ages since I posted my last video, but I'm back to college and things have been a bit crazy right now, so I'm really sorry. Well, many things have happened in my life ever since I posted my last video, and I'd like to talk about one of the things that has changed during this time. My depression unfortunately came back. I thought I really want to make a video about what depression feels like, so what better time to film that video than right now when I'm actually going through it. So I'm here to share my experience with depression with you guys, and this is a disclaimer, this is my own experience, so everyone is affected by depression in a different way. I'm just going to share my experience with you. First of all, I'd like to break down a myth. When people think about depression, they usually tend to imagine someone who is always very sad and crying all the time, and this is only half true. Yes, when people have depression, they tend to cry a lot, they are very sad, they feel lonely, they feel empty, but most of all, at least for me, I feel numb. I feel very empty on the inside. I feel like I could get hit by a truck and I wouldn't care. My life suddenly has no meaning at all for me, and that's what's scary in depression, because people tend to not care about what happens and they tend to not care about their safety, and that is very dangerous. Some people also think that depression is only brought on by a traumatic event in life, but that is entirely not true. I think I've said this before, but depression can appear at any time in your life. It's not like you can control when you have an illness or not. So depression can show up at any time of your life. For example, I was fine a week ago, and like 3 days ago I found myself crying on the kitchen floor at 3 a.m. That's how crazy this is. That's how unpredictable depression is, and it's quite scary. One of the things that I should warn you not to tell people with depression, or even people who are just sad, is other people have worse problems than yours, so stop complaining about your life, because your life is very good compared to others. I've heard this several times in the past few days, and I have to say that this is extremely disrespectful, because problems are not measurable. Problems are problems, and they make people suffer, and this is not a huge competition to see who has the biggest problems. Something that I would like to talk about furthermore in some other video that I will film in the future is depression in men. Men feel a lot of pressure from society, because society tells them to man up and stuff like that, and grow a pair of balls, and do not show your emotions, do not cry, because crying is a sign of weakness. And as a feminist, this is all bullshit to me. As a feminist, I believe that men should be able to show their emotions just as much as women. They're human beings. We are all human beings. We all have emotions, so it's totally fine if men cry. Men tend to kill themselves a lot more than women, because they keep everything to themselves, because they are afraid to seek for help because of what society might think of them. So the moral of this story here is men can get depression too. This is an illness. People do not control if they have it or not, and they should be able to cry and share their feelings with other people without feeling judged. Like I said earlier in this video, the signs for depression are not equal for everyone. For me, for example, when I start to get depression, I start to sleep a lot, don't want to get up. I have no motivation to do things, I don't have energy, I lose my appetite more than usual. I tend to cry a lot, yes, and sometimes I don't even know why I'm crying. I tend to withdraw from my friends and I feel very lonely, and I get a bit paranoid because I start to wonder, what if my friends don't like me? What if I'm just a burden to them? Depression puts these thoughts inside of your head and it's not pleasant at all. I also tend to overthink a lot. I start to wonder, what's the meaning of life? What am I doing here? I start to think about things I shouldn't. I have suicidal thoughts very often, and that totally sucks, to say the least. I start to lose myself. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I'm doing here, and that's not something I want other people to feel. So that's why I created my Tumblr blog, and that's why I created this YouTube channel. I also have this irrational fear that I will never be happy again, but then I start to think, okay, I've had depression once and I got cured, so if I could conquer that battle one time, then I can conquer that battle this time too. So I found an article online from psychom.net. I hope I'm reading this correctly. And these are quotes from people who have had depression in the past or still have depression. And I'm going to read them out loud and see if I can relate to those feelings and talk about it and express my opinion. Maybe you can relate to these feelings too. Like I said, depression is different for everyone. The first one says, what is depression like? It's like drowning, except everyone around you is breathing. Yes, this is actually quite true, because you're drowning and people don't even know you're drowning. Everyone around you is breathing properly, and you feel like you're dying, you feel like you're losing yourself in the sea, and people just tell you to get up or to swim to the shore, and they don't realize that you're actually drowning. The next one says, when you're depressed, you don't control your thoughts control you. I wish people understood that. This is one of the things that I can relate to most, because depression is like a little monster inside of your head telling you bad things and making you believe that you're not good enough, you don't have any friends, you have no motivation. It's actually what I feel, and it's like something is sucking all the energy out of me, all the motivation, all my happiness, and it feels terrible. And I also agree with this quote, because depression controls my thoughts and I'm not in charge anymore of what I think. The third one says, depression is feeling like you've lost something but having no clue when or where you last had it. Then one day you realize what you lost is yourself. This is what is happening to me right now. I lost myself, and I don't know how that happened or when that happened, because I'm totally clueless. I have no idea why this is happening right now. I should be happy. My anxiety is much better. I suffered for 10 months with anxiety, agoraphobia, panic disorder, and now I'm much better. I recovered, I'm doing my normal life, and suddenly I have depression out of nowhere. So I lost myself, and I don't even know how or when that started to happen. I'm so confused right now. So This is also relatable to me. People think depression is sadness. People think depression is crying. People think depression is dressing in black. But people are wrong. Depression is the constant feeling of being numb to emotions, being numb to life. You wake up in the morning just to go to bed again. This is exactly what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. As you can see, depression is not all about crying and feeling sad all the time. Depression is mostly about feeling numb and not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to do anything, because you actually feel empty and you just feel numb all the time. This is exactly what I was talking about in the beginning. When you suffer from depression, I'm tired means a permanent state of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. Sleep just isn't sleep anymore, it's escape. This is also something very true that I didn't actually mention in the video, but this is very real for me. When I said that I slept a lot, it's basically because I don't want to feel sad. It's because sleeping means that you're not awake and suffering and you're not in the real world. I did this a lot with anxiety too, because if I was asleep, I wasn't feeling anxious. So I would sleep as much as I could because being awake was just the real nightmare. Oh, this last one is very, very strong. It says, they ask, how are you doing? But what they mean is, are you over it yet? This is actually very disrespectful, and this is very true, because people don't get what depression feels like if they don't have it or if they've never experienced it. So they just think it's something simple and easy to control, and that we are doing it on purpose, but we actually don't control it, and people just tell us to suck it up and move on with life, but it doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So this is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below sharing your experience. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!